Time-lapse Friday. Welcome guys to the next one on the channel. This one was a request by a few people as well as a friend to make a Bruins logo time-lapse. That's what I'm going to be doing for this video here. You won't be able to see the logo for a few more minutes here before I put the giant background on it. Decided to make an all yellow background, and of course there's some black and white in the logo as well. So making sure that all looks nice, and of course you can see the logo here. It's really interesting, when I blew up the logo on my computer, a lot of the lines kind of turned out to almost separate a little bit, so you can kind of see there aren't a lot of straight lines on there, but so I kind of had to work with that as I worked with the logo. But it wasn't too much of an issue, but definitely going to be using the packaging tape for this and, you know, holding everything down. This is a really cool logo. It kind of has a cool vintage feel to it. It's definitely one of the more traditional sports logos, and there's a lot of straight lines and kind of geometric shapes in it. And of course it uses that border line technique where there's a kind of a black border line in between all the letters in different segments. So the trick, of course, with this is you're trying to make sure that it's all, you know, even on all the different sides, and then it'll look the best that it can be. A little bit of a tip and trick here: make sure you always put it down correctly before you stick it all the way down, because it's kind of exactly what I didn't do right there, and it's one of the hardest things to do, is to peel something up off of your sheet of paper or cardstock or canvas or whatever and peel up and put it back down again, because it tends to take everything with it. So we're working on cutting out the B first. And this is another little trick when you're working with stuff like this. Always try to put in a piece that's going to help you kind of work with the rest of the image. So this is in dead center of the circle here, and this is really going to help me apply all those other little pieces all the way around it, kind of like the spokes on a bicycle wheel, if you will, which is kind of how what this logo looks like in a lot of ways. So going to be working on the yellow and white pieces now. And like I said, these form the border lines all the way around the logo here. So you can tell I'm going to use the paper piece here to figure out exactly where to stick everything, and then I'm going to very carefully stick all these pieces down. And this creates the border lines in between the rest of the logo. So making sure it definitely works out pretty well. You always want to make sure that this is like one of those paintings where you really want to kind of just make sure that it's perfect all the way around, and try to make it as clean cut and as perfect as possible, because it'll look much better when it's all done. So working on that middle piece there, that's the yellow piece in between. And when I was sticking that down, I was making sure that on both sides the black line is pretty much exactly perfect, on the same size on each side. And that's kind of exactly what you're going for when you're making all of this entire logo, and making sure that it's all even all the way around. So this is the next two pieces here, of course the next two white pieces, and I will be skipping ahead a little bit here just to, you know, save a little bit on time. It's mostly just the exact same process of going all the way around the wheel here, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and this is going to be the last section on the right side, which would be the east side if this were a compass, and I'm going to be working on those pieces now. So this is the last two white pieces I'm going to be working on. Going to be peeling that up. And my scrap ball, which I have over here on the station, is actually getting pretty big from sticking all these different scraps onto it. So maybe in one of the videos I'll show you guys how much duct tape is stuck onto it. But after only about a few weeks, it's pretty much about the size of a softball. So it's a lot of duct tape scraps I'm sticking onto that thing. So working on the yellow pieces here, of course, these will be the last ones. This goes into the middle of the B. And then from there we work on the inside of the B. I decided to actually say that towards the end of the video here, because I thought it would be really cool if I kind of applied that as the last portion and kind of made it look, I guess, a little more dramatic, I guess, to make it look a little bit cooler when I was applying the last few pieces for the time lapse. So sticking on this piece here, and then we will start working on the middle portion. So it looks pretty great. And I saved that paper piece, of course. No way I can do it without that. And now you can kind of see how the printer didn't exactly print out some perfect lines there. You can see it on the inside of the two middle portions of the B, and also on the top portion there, which was just there. So now sticking that on, a nice kind of a background there. There's a lot of layering going on in this this time lapse, as there usually is in all my time lapses, but this one definitely has a lot of layering and kind of allowing you to stick all those pieces together to make it look like a great layering sticker design, which is kind of cool. So working on those inside portions, which are black, really no way to do this besides layering it all on. It's really going to allow you to have the best effect. You could just cut out a few different lines and then stick those on, but it's really just easier to stick a giant piece of duct tape on there rather than, you know, kind of like a cutout, like a stencil, and then sticking all those individual pieces on. Much easier to do it this way. So these will be the last two pieces, and making sure these are the same size. I'm going to trim one of them down a little bit and recut one of them out. So sticking that right about there, and then of course this will be the next one there, and there you have it. So I think it looks pretty cool. Definitely a request that I wanted to take care of here on the channel. Looks, I think I like it. It definitely looks like a great image, and hope you guys like this Bruins time lapse. A little bit of a zoom up for you so you can see all those cool pieces. And hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you next time on the channel for another video.